Hello?
Jay Breezy, can you believe he called my son Hunter?
Yes, sir.
Part of the suckers and losers.
Huh?
Hunter's not a sucker and loser,
wait.
Jay. Donald's the sucker
Hold
and
on,
loser.
I got a call on the other line.
I don't understand this guy.
Hello?
Did you watch the debate last night? He tried to
yes,
talk about
yes,
me
sir.
and suckers and losers. He's the ultimate
I know.
sucker and loser.
I know.
You know?
I know.
I want him to take the cognitive test.
Hold on.
He won't take it.
Matter of fact,
I
let me
aced
call
it.
y'all. Let me call you right back.
I'm the greatest president
I'm gonna call
that
you right
ever
back.
was.
Hold on.
That's hands down.
Sir, yeah,
hands down.
I'm
Everybody.
gonna call you right
Everybody
back.
thinks I'm the greatest.
No,
I went
I'm
to
gonna call
the
you back.
policeman.
I'm gonna call you
The
back.
policemen think that
Okay.
I'm the greatest. I asked
All
him,
right, oh boy.
Macho Man Randy Savage, the cream of the crop.
Yes! He scores! The Bulls lead 80.
Girl, your hair's so nappy, Wilson couldn't pick it.
This is Max Headroom.
Are you kidding?
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Jay Breezy back here on Gen X-Cellence, doing a little follow-up to the Totally Crossed Out podcast from the other day. And today, we're talking about the presidential debate. I enjoyed that. The presidential debate was a show. What type of show? I don't know. It was mostly like a clown show, but it was a show. From the very beginning. Now, see, here's the thing. Here's how creatives' minds work, right? The rest of you all saw a normal introduction to the debate, right? No, that's not how we creatives see life. This is how I saw the debate starting.
Tonight, we are going to witness the most anticipated match for the heavyweight championship of the world. Are you ready?
You smell what the Rock is cooking.
Now, this particular debate wasn't your typical sanctioned debate. This debate was kind of held kind of off the books, so to speak, because there's actually like a committee and like an association that holds these debates. Well, they blew all of that to hell. He was like, yeah, no, we're not rocking with y'all with that. And so CNN called and said, hey, y'all can do a debate with us down here in Georgia. They both agreed. And so you got the debate that you got. Now, there were rules to the debate. Check it out.
Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer a question and 1 minute each for responses and rebuttals. An additional minute for follow-up, clarification, or response is at the moderator's discretion.
When it's time for a candidate to speak, his microphone will be turned on and his opponent's microphone will be turned off. Should a candidate interrupt when his microphone is muted, he will be difficult to understand for viewers at home. At the end of the debate, each candidate will get 2 minutes for closing statements. There is no studio audience tonight. Pre-written notes, props, or contact with campaign staff are not permitted during the debate.
Now, remember in the previous video, I told you my man Donald J is a savage. And then you tried to play my man Sleepy Joe like you didn't know that he said the words asylum officers. Joe, you're fumbling. You're fumbling, Joe. You're fumbling, but I got your back. Yeah, he muddied the words up a bit, but watch Donald J be Donald J right here.
And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Come on, don't do Joe like that. You know Joe needs a nap. Donald, man. As the debate went on, I thought to myself, I know how politicians get down. Politicians will lie before they tell the truth. So, what I decided to do was go check with the fact checkers for some fact checking. And boy, oh boy, can I tell you that one of these candidates tended to, tell a couple lies a little more than the other one. Let's be honest, all politicians lie. So there's one that stands out way greater than the other when it came down to lying. But we're here, we're gonna go through this bit by bit, not all of them, but just some major points that I thought you all might want to know to help you make a decision in this upcoming election. Now, let me go on the record as saying I do not endorse either candidate. What I'm here to do today is just to do some fact checking. And if you want to read it for yourself, I will leave the link below so you don't have to take my word for it. You can go read from PolitiFact, their fact checking on some of these topics. But without further ado, let's get into it.
He didn't do much at all. By the time he left, things were in chaos, literally chaos. And so we put things back together. We created, I said, those jobs. We make sure we had a situation where we brought down the price of prescription drugs, which is a major issue for many people, to $15 for an insulin shot as opposed to $400.
That's a half-truth. Biden touted his efforts to reduce prescription drug costs by referring to the $35 insulin price cap his administration instituted, but he flubbed the number during the debate, saying it was lower to $15. In his closing statement, Biden corrected the number to $35. Here's the thing, too. One thing that comes up with me with this issue right here is perhaps if, the FDA actually did what they're supposed to do, perhaps if you stop pumping all of our food full of antibiotics and hormones, the insulin thing might not be an issue at all.
The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce back jobs, a bounce back from the COVID.
False. Since Biden took office in early 2021, the number of foreign-born Americans who are employed has risen about 5.6 million. But over the same time period, the number of native-born Americans employed has increased by almost 7.4 million. It's also wrong to say that all foreign-born employment gains, much less all the employment gains, stem from migrants here illegally. The data for foreign-born Americans include anyone born outside of the U.S., including immigrants who have been in the United States legally for decades. No, you don't. No, you do not. Buckle in. Buckle in. There's going to be a lot more false. There's going to be a lot more false statements. I guarantee it. See, this is why you can't just believe what you hear in society nowadays. You must go fact check. Go check. Do the best that you can, but strap in. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
And the military. When he was president, they were still killing people in Afghanistan. He didn't do anything about that. When he was president, we were still finding ourselves in a position where you had a notion that we were this safe country. The truth is, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world.
Super false. You don't even have to really be a quote-unquote fact checker to know that. Just use your Google. Some U.S. service members have died in combat abroad during Biden's presidency. In August 2021, 13 U.S. service members were killed in an attack as the U.S. withdrew from Afghanistan under Biden's administration. No U.S. service member deaths were reported in 2022, Defense Department data shows. Full government data for U.S. active duty military deaths is not available for 2023 or 2024. This January, 3 U.S. soldiers were killed in a drone strike in Jordan. But also during Trump's presidency, from January 2017 to January 2020, 65 U.S. service members were killed in combat. If you really thought that no soldiers died on your watch, you know who I know that it's false? The families of the affected soldiers that happened to pass away in wartime on your watch. I really think when we get down to things that deal with humanity, with people, with morals, with sensitivity such as loss, I really think we should be a lot better at getting that right. But politicians gonna politic.
You want to impose a 10% tariff on all goods coming into the U.S. How will you ensure that that doesn't drive prices even higher?
It's not going to drive them higher. It's just going to cause countries that have been ripping us off for years, like China and many others, in all fairness to China, it's going to just force them to pay us a lot of money, reduce our deficit tremendously.
Most economists expect that Trump's proposed 10% across the board tariff on foreign products will force consumers to pay more. And I don't know who... Father, forgive me for I have sinned. I am sorry. Please. Thank you. I don't know if some Chinese citizen offended Donald personally, but Donald has this vendetta. Donald, like, you're going to kneel before Zod.
You are the one they call president?
Kneel before Zod! With Donald. Believe that. Like, he's determined. But what does that mean for us? Oh, we're definitely going to pay for it. Because guess what? We are dependent on a lot of Chinese goods. And Donald trying to take that stance? Yeah, the only one that's going to get bit is us.
He made a statement. The only thing he was right about is I gave you the largest tax cut in history. I also gave you the largest regulation cut in history. That's why we had all the jobs.
Do you need me to really tell you that this is false? You don't, do you? Well, I'll do it anyway. We're here, right? When it was passed in 2017, Trump's tax cut was, in inflation-adjusted dollars, the fourth largest since 1940. As a percentage of gross domestic product, it ranked 7th in history, according to figures published by the Treasury Department.
And he's destroying Medicare because all of these people are coming in. They're putting them on Medicare. They're putting them on Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security. This man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security. These millions and millions of people coming in, they're trying to put them on Social Security.
Fact checking, this is false. It's wrong to say that immigration will destroy Social Security. Social Security's fiscal challenges stem from a shortage of workers compared with beneficiaries. Immigration is far from a fiscal fix-all for Social Security's challenges, but having more immigrants in the United States would increase the worker-to-beneficiary ratio, potentially for decades, thus extending the program's solvency, experts say. And let me help y'all out with something right now. Me being an Xer, they have been destroying Social Security long before now. Like, it got very real for my generation that we learned somewhere in our mid-20s to early 30s that there's a possibility that by the time that we make it to retirement age, there may not be anything left for us. And that is very real. So we've learned, or hopefully we've learned not to depend on the government, because the government is not depend-worthy.
He can take the life of the baby in the 9th month and even after birth, because some states, Democrat-run, take it after birth. Again, the former governor of Virginia, put the baby down, then we decide what to do with it. So he's willing to, as we say, rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month and kill the baby.
Well, the fact checker said that was false. Willfully terminating a newborn's life is infanticide, and it is illegal in every U.S. state. Most elected Democrats who have spoken publicly about this have said they support abortion under Roe v. Wade's standard, which provided abortion access up to fetal viability. This is typically around 24 weeks of pregnancy, when the fetus can survive outside of the womb. Many of these Democrats have also said they support abortions past this point if the treating physician deems it necessary. Sometimes I wonder if Donald really thinks about what he says before he says it. Like, it's straight up murder if a woman delivers a baby and then you abort it then. But I think I know what he's doing. That fear factor is a very real thing. And this is why no matter who the candidate is, you have to watch them ramping up things on any topic, and you have to keep a level head. Please, pretty please, with whipped cream on top, do not make an emotional decision at the polls.
I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. It's better than when he left office.
That's mostly true. The Department of Homeland Security announced that illegal immigration encounters dropped by 40% to fewer than 2,400 each day. in the weeks after Biden announced a policy largely barring asylum access for people entering the U.S. at the southern border. This policy was announced June 4th. But immigration experts caution that it's difficult to pinpoint a single reason for any change in the border crossings. For example, other factors such as hot weather can affect migration patterns. Since the policy was announced only a few weeks ago, it's unclear whether the drop in illegal immigration will actually continue. I want to remind you, mostly true. Notice you're not getting a whole lot of truth here. And this is why we, the people, we, the non-upper 2% of America, must be informed.
We had the safest border in the history of our country. The border, all he had to do was leave it. All he had to do was leave it.
And that's mostly false. Illegal immigration between ports of entry at the U.S. southern border dropped in 2017, which was Trump's first year in office. Apprehensions then rose and dropped again in 2020 when the pandemic started. Immigration dropped drastically worldwide as governments enacted policies limiting people's movement. In the months before Trump left office, illegal immigration was rising again. A spike in migrants, especially unaccompanied minors, started in the spring 2020 during the Trump administration and generally continued to climb each month.
I was recently in France for D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Trump?
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up, and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have.
Trump called this a made-up quote. Both statements need context, though. A September 2020 article in The Atlantic cited unnamed sources as saying that Trump called Americans who died in war suckers and losers when he canceled a trip in 2018 to an American cemetery near Paris. Why should I go to that cemetery? It's filled with losers, The Atlantic reported Trump said, citing multiple unnamed sources. In a separate conversation, also according to unnamed sources, he said U.S. Marines who lost their lives were suckers for getting killed. John Kelly, Trump's former chief of staff, confirmed elements of the Atlantic story 3 years later in an October 2023 statement to CNN, including that Trump referred to military members who were killed or wounded as suckers and losers. Oh, but Trump has long denied these allegations, and I bet he will continue to do just that.
Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up and he brought it up. Think that I would, in front of generals and others, say suckers and losers. We have 19 people that said it was never said by me.
4-star general standing to your side who was on your staff who said you said it, period. That's number one.
My man Joey Crack, he was not playing with Don down on that one. Yeah, you not my son. Yeah, he's not a sucker or a loser. You're the sucker. You're the loser. You couldn't call my son a sucker or a loser. Don could have got backslapped on that stage, but he swear he didn't say it, right, Don? You didn't say that, did you? Huh? What? I shouldn't winkle. I shouldn't winkle. I can't help it, but you didn't say it, right? You didn't say it. Oh boy. And then the following day, the next day after the debates, well, look, I guess my man Joey just had enough because he sure enough held a rally in North Carolina and he was going in.
Now, folks, I don't know what you did last night, but I spent 90 minutes on the stage debating a guy who has the morals of an alley cat. Did you see Trump last night? My guess he said, I mean it sincerely, a new record for the most lies told in a single debate. He lied about the great economy he created. He lied about the pandemic he botched, killing millions of people. He closed businesses. He closed schools, losing their homes, people all over this country.
You know how I know I'm truly a Gen Xer? I watched way too much wrestling when I was younger. So the way President Biden was giving that speech out the way he did, my X kicked in, and this is all I heard.
Now, folks, I don't know what you did last night, but I spent 90 minutes on a stage debating a guy who has the morals of an alley cat. You see Trump last night? He lied about the pandemic he botched, killing millions of people. He closed businesses. He closed schools, losing their homes, people all over this country. America was flat on its back. So I told Trump that he was just one of two presidents in American history who left office with fewer jobs than he started. Herbert Hoover was the other one. That's why I call him Donald Herbert Hoover Trump.
And then there's this clown.
Homie, don't play that.
No, not that clown. This clown.
They're running on fear. If Americans want to vote out of fear, they're going to vote for these guys. If they want to vote out of hope, they're going to vote out of me.
Independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who held his own event tonight, moderated by John Stossel, at the same time as the presidential debate. He answered many of the same questions. And as Chris was saying a moment ago, there's a good chance that he won just by being there.
This would be Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who, because he wasn't invited to the debate, decided to have his own stream debate and answer questions in line with the former and the current president was answering. I can't make this stuff up. That's gonna wrap this video up. But I wanted you all really to see, as a follow-up, talking about Donald Trump being a savage. But if you look, our country right now is in a place that we all need to wake up and take this election seriously. Because whatever we do, whatever we have to deal with now for the next 4 years. So if healthcare is an issue, if inflation is an issue, if grocery prices are an issue, if affordable housing is an issue, now is the time to make change. But that's my time today, my good people. For all of you all that's been steady here, rocking with me, I thank you more than what you know. You keep me going, you keep me energized. I love y'all for that. And listen, be a part of the family. We got way more things coming on, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, sell your soul. Sorry. Not sell your soul. Like, comment, subscribe. Get down with the channel, and I'll be down with you. Until next time, y'all have a great one, and I'm going to see y'all soon. Peace.